Well, I guess connect the dots for me. So Lil Pascal was sweeping hair at the barbershop, and you were what? You said 8, 9 at the time?
I was 8 years old when I started.
When did it click for you? Did someone tell you about real estate? Did you learn from,
So I learned little tricks along the way, right?
Because back then there was no Google, there was no YouTube.
No, I mean, even when I bought I'm 23 years by the age of 23.
Yeah.
There wasn't like Zillow.
So, first and foremost, I wanted to start with just you introducing yourself, just because I have seen that there are new followers here, and then as well as maybe reintroduce yourself to the people that have been awesome, loyal people supporting you. I guess let me start with this first. Let's see. Okay, so what is your origin story, so to speak? Like, how did this all start for you?
So
Just for one.
Different, like it was not like it kind of fell together. Like, so I came here when I was like 3 years old to America, and grew up where I would have thought a normal childhood, which I find now it's not. It's like kind of like the foreign childhood. I lived in a really rough neighborhood. Started working when I was like 8. I'd sweep hair, go to the store for the barber, clean his car, do like random stuff for money, and I would use that money to buy myself video games and comic books and baseball cards, because if I wanted something I had to pay for it myself. We didn't really have the money for that type of stuff. Then I started like learning how to like collect and trade, so then I would be able to get more stuff. So it's not just off of the money I was making to get the other items that I wanted, right? Same thing all kids want: video games, comic books, cards.
Yeah.
And then I started getting pretty good. Started trading Pokemon cards when I was like older, and made a lot of money doing that.
Right.
So I actually still have a lot of them in my safe there. Then I started learning about real estate when I was 14, and I realized you don't gotta sell something to make money. You can like let someone borrow your stuff and you get paid. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I thought like most of these properties were owned by big companies or governments. And then I found out like no, but people own these buildings. And I was like, that was mind blowing. And then in fact, you only have to put down 20% or less, and the government would put down the rest. That also was mind blowing. So people will borrow it from you, pay you, and then you have a mortgage that the government pays 80% of it to buy it, and you get all the profit. It's like, it's too good to be true. Like, and like, if people can do this, why would you do it just once? Why would you do it 1,000 times?
Well, I guess connect the dots for me. So Lil Pascal was sweeping hair at the barbershop, and you were what? You said 8, 9 at the time?
I was 8 years old when I started.
When did it click for you? Did someone tell you about real estate? Did you learn from,
So I learned little tricks along the way, right?
Because back then there was no Google, there was no YouTube.
No, I mean, even when I bought I'm 23 years by the age of 23.
Yeah.
There wasn't like Zillow.
Yeah.
There wasn't an online system now where you literally have all the data provided to you.
True.
So you didn't have that. The Pinellas County property appraisers across the country weren't online. You couldn't do research like you could do today.
Yeah.
I mean, so when I first started, I first obviously work, you get money, you buy your stuff. Then I realized I could only work so many hours in a day, right? I had school. So if I wanted something, I had to find a better way to get it. So I started trading, bartering. So then I started collecting. Then I started like trading up.
Yeah.
Those are skills that you really should have, even if you're talking about stuff that are a couple of dollars or pennies. That skill set, Gary Vee does this, right? The skill set that he has in bartering and negotiating at a garage sale in New Jersey, and I grew up in New Jersey too. Those skills, they're the same skills that you would use to do $1 billion transaction. Now, obviously, you're honing your skills, but you would actually be surprised. A lot of people you're negotiating with are actually not that great of a negotiator at the higher level. Some are very good, but others have other skill set, and negotiation is not one of them. So if you have that skill and you've learned it from a young age and honed it as your way up, it really is beneficial. So I started gaining little skills along the way that I compiled to improve.
Yeah.
So then I realized, hey, after that point, you have to get rid of my stuff, sell my stuff. And I'm a collector, I didn't want to sell stuff. So then when I realized, or when I learned at 14, you can own real estate and the government will give you 80% of the money, and then someone else will pay you or borrow it, and you're making the spread.
Yeah.
that's awesome. Like, someone was gonna pay you to borrow my
Who
stuff.
did you learn that from someone or?
So I learned it first from my uncle,
Oh,
because he
okay.
was buying condos.
Okay.
You know, and I also learned you should not buy condos. Like, it's not the best way to do it.
Okay.
And then from there, I spent like 5 years learning credit, tax returns, how to qualify for a mortgage, what do they look at, and cash flow. Just studied everything I could, found a bunch of different mentors, worked for them for free, and accumulated that knowledge. And then when I was 19, I bought my first weekends.
I like how you said that. You accumulated that knowledge, and then from there you took that, you did a call to action. You didn't just absorb all of this information and then just be like, someday I'm gonna do it. You just were like, that's it, I'm just gonna go for it.
Well, at 16, I saved up enough money to
Mhm.
put down on this property. It was about 50 grand.
Wow.
But my dad had to co-sign, he wouldn't.
Oh.
So I could have done it at 16. So I did try. So don't get me wrong, it's not like I sat back and just didn't do anything.
Right.
I tried.
Right.
And it just didn't work. And it bummed me out. And then like kind of took a step back. And then I was
Yeah.
like, Bill, I'm gonna try again. And it didn't work, and step back, and it just that kind of thing where I kept trying.
Yeah.
And when I didn't succeed, I don't want to call it failure, but I didn't succeed.
Right.
But I didn't quit. So that was really kind of like one thing that, since I really grew up with not a lot and really rough, that I was able to get the skin, the tough skin, to say, you know what, I'm gonna try. And if I fail, I'm right back where I was.
Yeah.
I didn't go any further. I'm
Yeah.
already on the bottom. And that's kind of one of the blessings that I tell people that are like at the bottom.
Yeah.
You're already at the bottom. You might as well try. You ain't getting much further than this, you know?
Right.
So,
You can only go up from here.
you only go up from here, right? you ain't looking at it, you know?
Yeah.
And at 16, I started investing in stocks. And again, this is literally, I was getting a newspaper to look at the stock prices.
Jeez.
It wasn't online. You didn't really have that ability.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was, again, it's talking about 2000,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, you had dial-up internet. It took me like 20 minutes to log into
There was
your
a whole
email.
Y2K possible crash.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
just to log on, it's like 4 hours to just look at something. It's like, all right, open up the newspaper. So
That's
I'll do
awesome.
that.
Yeah. And then someone commented, still at the bottom mindset. That's good.
So, yeah, like, there's a mindset where it's healthy
Yeah.
to kind of think that way in some aspects, but it's not healthy in other aspects where you're like having limited beliefs. That's really kind of like, really want to get rid of your limiting beliefs
Right.
and just say, hey, you know, I'm going to take this risk,
Yeah.
you know. And if you take smart risks, they're really very limited. People are afraid of what I invest in and get millions of dollars in loan to buy these huge properties. For me, it's not a risk. Like, you know, I've done enough calculations and then, you know,
Yeah.
for sure that we're going to succeed. And the question comes to is like, how much are we going to make? And I think we're going to make this much, but we could make even more.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, are we going to make any money? That's called speculating. That's not investing.
Right. I think what they mean probably with still at the bottom mindset is like always room for growth.
Yeah, that's a good way to think.
Okay, so now you are where you are now. I guess let's talk to the people and let's say out of the, I think you said you've been in here about almost 25 years in the business of real estate and investing, and then you have actually grown into different businesses. So I know, like, you can say you're a serial entrepreneur. What are those businesses now? Starting again, when you first bought your property at 19, you then were, you know, technically a real estate investor. Now, where are we at with you?
So at 19, I started working at the bank around 18, 19 years old. And I saved up all my money. Even when I was a kid and the Pokemon cards, I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I saved all that money. So I had like $32,000 by the time I was 19.
Yeah.
Saved up. And just, again, my whole life, just investing and saving and scraping it together. So I learned the banking system. Like within 15 months, I went from part-time teller to senior personal banker doing loans.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
This was while you were in college too,
This is
for
while-
accounting?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going for college for finance, actually.
Oh,
And I did really well at the bank, but I didn't like how they also wanted me to sell more. And in that process, it was very helpful though, because I did learn the mortgage business very well. And that helped me scale very fast. because I learned taxes very well and I learned mortgages very well. If you know both very well, if you have professionals that are very good at both, you can scale from, again, I had a duplex at 19, I had 23 units by the age of 23, and I rolled the same $30,000 to build that up. It was 30 grand, I rolled into $3 million worth of real estate because I understood taxing and I understood the mortgage. And most people think taxes and mortgages is math. It is math, but it's really law for numbers. It's law for tax.